So today we're going to talk about how I did it, what I did to lose the 85 pounds, going from 303 pounds to 210 pounds. So the first thing you need to do is you got to figure out what your why is. You got to figure out why you want to make this change. And once you figure out what your why is, it'll be much easier for you to make this change. So for me, I was having some health issues. When I bent over and picked up things, I was getting super dizzy. Like I was working on a shed in my backyard, and I'd bend over, I'd pick up a 2x4, I'd stand up, and I'd get dizzy. And I'd have to kind of stand there for a minute, recompose myself, and then get back to doing what I was doing. So I had went to the doctor, and I had been to the doctor about a year and a half prior to this and had a checkup. At that checkup, they ran my labs and everything. They found that everything came back pretty normal, except for a little high cholesterol. And it wasn't even super high. It was just like on the edge of being high. So I adjusted my diet and was able to get the cholesterol under control within like 2 months. And then I just called it good. Didn't do any exercises, anything like that. Just adjusted my diet. Now, albeit at this time, I'm not 303 pounds yet, right? At this time, I'm probably 250, 260. And something else happened to me in that same year that's really worth noting. There was this big ass rug that I was removing from my house. And I pulled this rug outside and got it ready to go into the back of a pickup truck to take to the dump. But I didn't have the pickup truck there. So it rains overnight. Pickup truck gets there the next day. I pick this heavy ass rug, throw it in the back of this pickup truck by myself. I mean, with the rain and everything, this thing had to weigh 400 or 500 pounds. It was heavy. So when I did it, I didn't feel anything too bad. Maybe a little tweak in my back. That was it. Nothing terrible. My daughter and son was like, hey, let's go out and take a nature walk. We were doing a lot of nature walks at the time. I said, hey, let's go do it. So we went out on our nature walk, about a 45-minute walk, and towards the end of that walk, I started getting a really bad pain in my chest and in my back. And I went home, and I'm sitting there in my chair. I told my wife, I got a really bad pain in my chest and my back. I think, I might have pulled a muscle whenever I moved that rug. And she was like, look, if you got a pain in your chest and your back, you got to go to the hospital, get that checked out. We don't know. You could be having a heart attack. We don't want you doing that. So I go to the hospital. They check me out. They take my blood, everything. They said, well, we don't see any signs of a heart attack with your blood work, but we want to go ahead and do a stress test and make sure that your heart's good to go. So the next day, I stay overnight at the hospital. The next day, I go down to the stress test lab. They hook me up with diodes. They have me get on a treadmill. They start me out walking slow, speed it up till I'm eventually running. Like I said, we don't ever see anybody run on this thing. Slow it down, end it, and say, hey, everything went great. Perfect stress test. No, we don't see any markers of issues. Cardiologist said no issues. So that was great, right? Found out I had a pulled muscle in my back and a pulled muscle in my chest, which was causing the pain. So they gave me some muscle relaxers, some pain medication. About 7, 8 days, I was better. Now, fast forward to me bending over, picking up the 2x4s, building a shed in the backyard, getting dizzy. I make an appointment with the doctor. I go to the doctor. They do my blood pressure and say, hey, you got high blood pressure. They run my labs, say, hey, your cholesterol's not good. They take my weight, 303 pounds, way overweight at this point. I've been working a desk job now for 4 years at this point. Totally sedentary, not exercising or moving at all like I should. And it just goes to show you how fast health issues can creep up. It only takes a few years. But anyway, I digress. I go and they say, okay, we're going to run a stress test. We just want to make sure your heart's good. All right, I figure I'm going to pass it. I passed the last one. The doc said, we're going to do a chemically induced stress test this time, not a physical stress test. So we're going to put a chemical in your body. It's going to make your heart race. Then your heart will come back to normal functioning speed, and we'll let you go home. So they did that, hooked me up with the diodes, put the chemical in my body. Heart started going fast with this flush feeling all over my body. Super fast heart rate, and then heart rate drops like that. It feels like you've been running. It's crazy. So they get the results back and they say, hey, you did not pass your stress test. We see some issues here and here. So we are going to, and I think they put a dye in for this one also. And they did like is it an EKG or whatever it is, where they put the dye in, they put you in the machine, magnetic machine, it runs around, and then, it tells them what's going on, right? They did that, and they said, we see some issues here. We need to do a cardiac catheterization. You can't exercise. You can't do anything until we get this cardiac catheterization done. And I'm thinking, oh God, how long is this going to take? What's going on here? So I finally get the cardiac catheterization scheduled. It's like 3 months later. I go in for the cardiac catheterization, and the cardiologist says to me, hey, you look great. We don't see anything wrong with your heart. Everything's the normal size. Everything's functioning absolutely properly. Your heart is 100%. You have no issues at all. You're probably just getting dizzy when you stand up because, you're super fat and your body's having a hard time, putting the blood where it needs to go when it needs to go there. But we think you need to lose some weight. This gave me a big scare because there was like a 3-month period where they were basically like, if you ever exert yourself, you may or may not have a heart attack. And we don't know how bad this is, and there's nothing we can do until we do your cardiac catheterization. And we're not going to do your cardiac catheterization immediately because we don't feel this is an emergency situation where you need it done immediately. Well, eventually, after calling my doctor and saying, hey, I want to get this done and get it out of the way, I finally got it done as quickly as I possibly could. So, anyway, that said, it's done, right? And now I have been freaked out for months waiting on this, and I am just really exhausted from worrying about my health, not being able to move, not being able to bowl. All my friends are bowling. We're doing this awesome bowling league, and I'm not even able to participate. I'm just going up there and sitting and watching. And, that was really, really hard for me, not being able to be physically active. And then I thought to myself, I don't want to die of a heart attack, in front of my kids. So what can I do? I have a lot of heart issues that run in my family. So that was my why. I need to get healthy for myself, for my family. I was not only just embarrassed at how out of shape I was, but worried about how out of shape I was. So once I knew my why, then I needed my goal. So that's what you have to do first, is find your why. And if you're older, I think finding your why is one of the most beneficial parts of this, because it's what keeps you going sometimes. Write that why down and look back on it. Think about it. Keep it in your mind, especially the first couple of months, because the first couple of months was pretty damn hard. I'm going to be honest. So once you do that, you need to set your goal. So for me, I said, well, what do I want to do? Right? I need to exercise and diet, and I need to do this consistently. And I thought about it and said, I've went to the gym before and I've lifted weights and I wasn't consistent at it because I stopped. I would have periods of a year of consistency, 2 years of consistency. Heck, I had periods where I was 3 to 5 years of consistency, right? Lifting. But I always dropped off somewhere. So I wanted to set my goal in such a way that I felt like I would remain consistent. And so for me, I need to be working towards something. So when I was the most consistent for the longest period of time, I was playing sports. And I was working out to get better at sports. So I'm bowling, I'm playing basketball, I'm doing things with my friends. I'm way out of shape. I can barely hang in there for 30 minutes for any of it. I said, well, I want to be in shape for that. But also, I'd like to build my body to look the way I want it to look. So I said, I am going to bodybuild as my goal, which will allow me to get better at the sports I play, and will also allow me to build and work towards something specific so that I don't stop. It's a sport, which I like, and you're really competing against yourself and seeing how well or you can make yourself, right? Where can you take your body? And so I knew that for me, I would be able to go a long period of time focusing on that, possibly forever, just constantly shaping and building my body into what I want it to look like, or as close as I can get to what I want it to look like. So my goal became bodybuilding. If that's your goal, hang in here with us. All right, maybe you can utilize what I have. If it's not your goal, maybe you can utilize parts of what I have. But what I've done is bodybuilding specific. So just understand that. And what I'm going to talk about today is bodybuilding specific. So the next thing you need to do is you need to analyze your time. Look at your days, right? For me, my mornings are shot. I take the kids to school, come home and work, take lunch, work, pick the kids up from school, take them to all their extracurriculars, and then I have a little bit of free time at the end of the day. Also, for older men who are 40s and up, there's been research that's shown a lot of promise with working out in the evening and closer to night, as it raises your testosterone more than if you work out at other times. And so that's one of the things we really want to do, is we want to raise our testosterone in the beginning, because it started to fall off by like 3% as soon as you turn to 30 every year. And if you're out of shape, it's probably fallen off even worse than that. So your testosterone levels are more than likely lower than they need to be. So anything we can do to boost our testosterone in the early stages, we want to do that. And working out in the evening can possibly give us a boost in our testosterone. And it was the absolute best time for me. Now, if you're one of these people that get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's the absolute best time for you to work out, by all means, work out in the morning. Because it's more important that you get to the gym and do a workout than you do a workout at a specific time. Because it's going to raise your testosterone no matter what. So, prioritize just getting to the gym and just doing the workout. Whatever time of day that's the most convenient for you. But pick a time of day and utilize that time every single day as the time you're going to go to the gym and work out. Because this routine is going to become natural to you in your routine. Your family's going to get used to it. And it's just going to become like what you do. It's 8:30. I'm heading to the gym. Everybody knows it. It's just what you do, right? It's who you are at a certain point. And that's the point we want to get to as fast as possible. Where our identity where it's part of our identity, right? So find the best time for you to work out, and so this is the time I'm going to work out every day. Now, the next thing you need to do, and this is going to be a little controversial, but you need to drop your calories. I would rather see bigger results in the beginning and then raise my calories as I move forward slightly. Keeping results, but starting to raise them towards maintenance. This program is going to be 3-month cycles. And the first month of this program is learning how to eat in a calorie deficit. I think sometimes the best way to learn things is to get thrown into the deep end of the pool and told to start swimming. If that's not the strategy you like, maybe this isn't the method for you. But this is the strategy I took, and it worked very well for me. So this is what I'm going to recommend to others. If you're a woman, drop your calories to 1,200 calories. That's going to put you in a deficit. If you're a man, drop your calories to 1,500 calories. And yes, you can take your body weight, you can multiply it by 0.12. That'll give you a meager calorie deficit to stay in. And you can do that, and you can lose weight slower, and you can take this process much slower. I chose not to do that, and I'm not recommending you do that, because dropping your calories dramatically is going to allow you to learn how to eat foods that are low in calorie and high in bulk. Large amounts of low calorie foods is what we want to do. When I say that, I'm thinking like turkey sandwiches, yogurt jam, hamburgers, pasta, not just salads and things like that. We need to learn how to eat real foods that are low in calories, high in protein. So how are we going to determine your protein? All right, let's determine your protein. Get you a BMI chart. Look at how tall you are. Look at how much you should weigh on a BMI chart. So 6'2", 190 pounds. That's the top end of what somebody who's 6'2" should weigh according to the BMI chart. So 190 grams of protein is the protein intake that you should eat. Don't use your current body weight and do 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're 303 pounds, trying to eat 303 grams of protein in the beginning, it's just the wrong way to do it. And it's not going to work very well. So make sure you're looking at the BMI chart. What's your ideal weight on that? That's going to be what you're going to use for your protein intake. And you can wad that up, throw it away. You don't really need it after that. Now that you're either 1,005, 1,002, you know what your protein goal is, you're going to hit those calories and that protein goal. And that is all you're going to worry about. Don't worry about fiber. That's going to come when you start eating these higher amount foods, lower proteins. You're just naturally going to be eating more fiber. Fats, you're going to cut out a lot of your fats because lower fat foods are lower in calories. So you're going to wind up cutting out a lot of fats. Carbohydrates, something that you'll eat very sparingly in the beginning. Right? All of this is important to learning how to eat properly and learning how to take care of your nutrition properly. Download an app such as Lose It. That's the one I use. I like it the best. MyFitnessPal. It's a good app. I've used it. Works all right. Almost identical to Lose It. I just feel like Lose It is a little better for me. It integrates better with my Apple products, and I just kind of like it a little better. And then there's one called Stupid Simple Macros, right? That one's free, and that's a really good one too, if you don't want to pay any money for your tracker. Pick one of those three, download that on your phone, and track every single thing that you eat. Buy a food scale, weigh everything in grams, ounces, or milliliters. And don't put anything into your body that you haven't logged into that app. Don't eat a snack that you haven't logged into the app. Don't drink a beer that you haven't logged into the app. Anything you eat or drink, you're going to log it into your app. You're going to set your app up at 1,500 calories for guys, 1,200 calories for women. And you're going to set it up at the protein goal that we talked about, BMI chart, top of the BMI, goal weight. That's what you're putting in for your protein. You got to hit your protein or go over every single day. That is a non-negotiable. If you have the choice between hitting your protein and staying under your calories, if you're going over by 100 calories to 1,006, right? Go over the 100 and do better the next day, but hit your protein. Now, don't use that as an excuse to go binge eat because you eat nothing but carbohydrates all day long And now you got to hit your protein at the end of the day. So you go and eat 4 or 5 hamburgers to get that done, and you're 3,000 or 4,000 calories over your limit. Make sure that you're logging and tracking everything. Be meticulous about it. How much more time is this going to take you out of your life? You're going to add about 5 minutes to your cooking time, max. 5 minutes to ordering food at restaurants, max. You're just going to have to be a little bit more mindful and decide what you're going to eat and do before you do it. Before you go to Taco Bell, you're going to need to get on their menu. You're going to need to put your order in on their menu, use their nutrition calculator, take the cheese off, take the sour cream off, take the beef off, add chicken, double chicken. Okay, now I'm good to go. But you have to do that with everything, and you have to track it meticulously. If you're not willing to do that, it's highly unlikely you're going to be successful. So, we're tracking everything. We're hitting our protein goals. We have our calorie consumption. Now we need to start our exercise routine. So for the first week, I don't want you doing anything at all. No exercising. The first week, the only thing you're going to do is track your calories, hit your protein goal every day, and stay consistent, staying under your calories and in your protein goal and being full. There's websites out there that can help you pick meals. I'll throw one of those into the document that I'm going to make. I'll put together a quick document tonight that you can download off of Google Drive and use to follow this method. So now that you have all of that, the next thing you need to do is you need to buy some supplements, because you're going to want protein powder. That's going to help you hit your protein goal. And when you buy your protein powder, buy the absolute highest protein to lowest calorie ratio you can find. If you can find 100 calories and 25 grams of protein, you want to get something like that, right? Highest protein, lowest calorie protein powder. If it tastes bad, gives you stomach issues, whatever, you might have to change it up. But to start out, that's what you want to do. Because while you're on this journey, sometimes you're going to eat things that taste bad, but you're going to eat them anyway, because you got a goal and you have something you're trying to do, and you're going to do it. No matter what. Nothing's going to get in your fucking way. Right? And if you have to eat some weird shit or some shit that don't taste the best in the world, that's what you're going to do to get to your goal. And what's going to happen is you're going to eventually learn how to make these things that maybe aren't the best tasting items in the world to your preference, so that you enjoy them and they're very tasty for you. Because you're going to get good at this as time passes. So in the beginning, you might not be good at it. You might pick a protein shake that's not as tasty as you would like, because you haven't experimented and tried all the other protein shakes and found the one that you like the best. But with anything that's worth doing is hard. And this is hard. And you got to get through those hard periods. You got to fail from time to time to succeed. Period. Any endeavor that's worth doing is like that. So get yourself protein powder. Number 1 supplement. Number 2 supplement you're going to need a multivitamin. You can simply get a men's 1 a day multivitamin, and you don't need anything else. Or a women's 1 a day multivitamin, and you don't need anything else. Just a standard 1-a-day multivitamin is fine. I know I talked about using the animal packs, and that's fine too. If you want to be a little bit more advanced in the beginning, get yourself an animal pack, but just take half the serving every morning. Just take the one package of animal pack every morning, not one in the morning, not one at night. You're not going to be exercising that much, and you don't need that yet. You will eventually. Right now, you don't need it. And just a regular multivitamin do. You're going to do that because you haven't been eating in a calorie deficit for very long. You haven't learned how to eat in a calorie deficit. You're probably not eating as nutrient dense foods as you could in the beginning. And there's going to be a bit of a learning curve. And the multivitamin is going to fill any gaps that you have nutritionally. And the reason that's important is because you're going to be working out and your body's going to utilize these nutrients. So it's good for you. And it will help you ensure that you get the gains that you're going to get. And it will increase your gains to a minor, very minor degree. The next thing you're going to start taking is creatine. You're going to take 1 scoop of creatine every single day. 5 grams of creatine every day. You don't need to load. You don't need to do the 10-gram loading phase, hurt your belly, get the poops, all that kind of stuff. Just take the maintenance amount of creatine every day. The reason you're going to do this is because you're probably going to be eating a lot of chicken and a lot of fish, right? The creatine is going to supplement the red meat that you're probably going to not eat a lot of in the beginning. So make sure you take your creatine. And creatine is just good for you. It's proven to work. It's proven that you will get muscle gains from it. It's proven that it puts water in your muscle tissue, which allows you to be able to work out better, longer, be stronger, and make more gains. So creatine, super important. Always want to take your creatine. From now on, start taking creatine, don't stop. And then for new people who's new to working out, there is a supplement called HMB that has shown promise to lower delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS, and increase newbie gains more than you would see without having it. So go ahead and throw that in to your diet too, because anything we can do to reduce delayed onset muscle soreness, we want to do, because that's going to be your biggest pain in the ass this first month. That's going to be your biggest fight this first month. The next thing is hydration. So you need to have 80 ounces of water every single day. And just drinking water isn't enough. You're going to be sweating and you're going to be losing fluids. So you need to have some electrolytes. They got these little boxes of Propel powder. Tear the top open. You pour it into the water. You fill the water up. I think 2 of those packets, I think each packet does, 16 ounces of water, I think. So you're going to put 2 packets in every 40 ounces. I suggest go get you one of these. That holds 40 ounces of water. So I can put 2 packets of Propel in there, fill it up with water. I can do that twice a day, and I know I've got my water. So you want 80 ounces of water. With that, fruit, water you get from other cooked meals, and water you get from protein shakes and diet sodas and things like that throughout the day, you're going to have plenty of hydration. So 80 ounces of water every day with 2 packs of Propel in it. Now, do you want to use Gatorade? Do you want to use something else? Fine. If it has calories, make sure you count it. If you use a different type of electrolyte, that's fine. If it has 0 calories, all the better. Just make sure you track whatever calories you're putting in your body, right? And if you're going to just drink plain water, it's better than nothing. I don't think that's going to help you all the time with cramps and things like that that'll come, whereas the electrolyte water will. So that's why I recommend having water. And make sure you salt your food. Salt in your food is also going to provide you with the electrolytes that you need. So salt everything you eat. If you have hypertension and they told you not to eat salt, well, don't eat salt. But for everybody else, salt your food. Make sure that you sleep at least 8 hours every single day. And if you can get 10 hours of sleep, get 10 hours of sleep. If you can get 10 hours of sleep and a nap in the middle of the day for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, all the better. But your sleep is where your body is really going to be recovering from all the physical activity, and it's going to be the most important thing that you do. So make sure you're getting your sleep. Hydration, nutrition, sleep. These are the 3 things outside of the gym that's going to determine how fast you lose weight and how fast you make gains. If you're a newbie that's just coming back to weightlifting, meaning you haven't lifted in 4+ years, you're going to make gains very, very fast. If you're somebody that's never weightlifted in your life, you're going to make gains even faster. For those who are coming back, you're going to build back the muscle that you had and lost very quickly. Then you're going to have newbie gains on top of that before you hit a wall. For the folks who've never worked out, you're going to consistently have newbie gains that are dramatic for the first 2 years. For those of you coming back to working out, you're going to have these gains for the first year. You'll be back to where you was when you stopped working out. The next year, you'll be getting bigger and stronger for most people. Now, is that going to vary from person to person? Some people are going to be able to get there in 7 months, 6 months. Yes. Some people are going to be able to get there, is it going to take longer? Yes. So it depends on each individual and how much you put into it, what kind of work you put into it. So the next thing I'm going to assume you have is a Planet Fitness, an Anytime Fitness, or some type of a gym around your area that you can utilize and go to. A community center, gym, whatever it is. School, gym, whatever. I'm going to assume that you have a gym. Now, if you have access to machines, it can do a full body machine weight exercise. That's what I want you to do to start off. If you don't have access to machines, then I want you to start off utilizing dumbbells and do full body exercise with dumbbells. So this full body routine on machines is going to look like this. Bicep curls. Right? You're going to do tricep push downs. The first week, you're going to do 1 set of each to failure. and you have one warm-up set where you're learning how much weight that you can lift. So you're going to start off at like 5 pounds or whatever there is on the machine. You're going to curl that 5-6 times. So it should be super easy. You'll drop it down to 10 pounds, whatever the next weight is. Curl that 5-6 times. You're going to do that until that 5th rep is a pretty difficult rep. Then you're going to back the weight up by 10 to 20 pounds, and that's going to be your starting point. This is going to help you warm up, and it's going to help you understand where you are as far as how much you can lift. Then you're going to do one set to absolute failure. And when I say failure, I mean you cannot lift the bar one more time. If you can get partials in, get all the partials you can get in. But I want you to have good form. I want you to go slow on the eccentric, the downward movement. Come up fast on the concentric. Hold, squeeze, slowly all the way down, stretching completely out until you're at the bottom of your range of motion. Concentric, fast, slow all the way out until you're at the bottom of your range of motion. You're going to do that so that your hold at the top should be about 1 Mississippi. Good hold. Coming down, we want about 3 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, maybe even 4. Coming back up, should be about half the time you took, or less, to go down. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, we're here. Now we're going down slower, right? That's what I want you to do. So you're going to do that for every single exercise. So bicep curl, tricep curl. Incline bench. Don't do a flat bench. Don't do anything else. Just incline bench. 1 fly movement on the pec deck. 1 pull down. And 1 rowing movement. If you want to utilize the cable machine for a lat pull down and your row, go ahead. And when you do your row, I don't want you doing it with the narrow handles. Do it with handles that are about shoulder width apart, right? Then you're going to do leg extensions, leg curls, and you're going to do calf raises. When you're done with all that, you're going to use the sit-up machine or crunch machine where you're going to use weight top and your feet are down to bottom and you're crunching into yourself with your knees and your elbows coming together. That's going to be your full body workout. And you're going to do that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You're going to do that with 1 warm-up set for every exercise and 1 set to failure for every exercise. All right. That's going to give you 3 sets to failure. Now, studies show that you need at least 2 sets to failure to see growth results. So we're adding an extra set to failure, 3 sets to failure for the week for each body part which you will see growth. All right. Now, this first week, we're just working through our delayed onset muscle soreness. We know we're going to be sore, we know it's going to hurt, and we know it's going to be hard to get back into the gym. Tuesday, you're going to do 30 minutes of cardio. My recommendation is do the incumbent bike, where you sit and your feet are kind of out in front of you and you pedal the bike. Doesn't matter what resistance you have it on at this point, just that you're doing it for 30 minutes and you're raising your heart rate above 100 beats per minute. If you can get it in 120 beats per minute to 130 beats per minute, I think I find that optimal. But you just want to raise it at least past 100 beats per minute for this first week. So Monday, full body workout. Tuesday, 30 minutes of cardio. Wednesday, full body workout. Thursday, 30 minutes of cardio. Friday, full body workout. Saturday, 30 minutes of cardio. Sunday, rest day. Don't do anything at all. Okay? Every cycle or every round is going to be a quarter of a year, 3 months, or 90 days, however you want to look at it. So the first week, we're working on just our nutrition. That's it. We're getting it under control. The second week, we're working on our weightlifting routine and our cardio. The third week, we're going to add a second set to all of our workouts. So you have your warm-up set, your first set to failure, your second set to failure for all your workouts. You're going to do that for the remainder of these 3 months. And the 3 months will start on the first week that you're lifting weights. So that first week when you're lifting the one set to failure, that's when you're starting your countdown for 3 months. The second week, we're adding 2 sets to failure, right? And the reason we're doing this is because, one, we want to get through our delayed onset muscle soreness. Most of that is going to be worked out and gone by that second week. That first week is going to be your hardest. You may have a little bit more that second week, but by the third week, it'll definitely be gone. Or not nearly as bad, at least. And then you're going to get used to, you just want to get used to doing cardio. And you don't want to do cardio on the same days that you're doing your weights right now. Right now, you're a novice or you're getting back into it and you want to separate it out, because the cardio the next day is going to get the blood flowing through your body. It's going to get you to feeling better, and it's going to take the nutrients and pump them to your muscles and allow your body to heal a little bit faster. So it's going to help you with getting nutrients where they need to go. So that's the theory there. The second week, we've worked through DOMs and we're ready to work through our full body workout every day. You're going to continue to keep your cardio on your off days. And at the end of this 3-month cycle, we're going to start the next cycle. And I will talk to you about what that next cycle looks like in our next video on rest day. Y'all, my son got strep throat. Been running around all over the house with it. And I may or may not be just tired right now, but I don't know. It's a possibility I might be coming down with it. And I really hope I'm not, because I do not want to have to take any time away from the gym. And if I do come down with it, then I am not going to be able to work out for at least 24 hours while I'm waiting on the antibiotics to kick in so that I'm not contagious. Because I'm not going to go to the gym contagious and make somebody else sick. So let's hope that I'm just sleepy and tired, and maybe I'm just in my head a little bit, and that I don't have anything else going. So took a little bit extra zinc today. We will see how that does me. So I hope that helps. Like I said, I'm going to print this. I'm going to type this up on a Google Doc, and then I will share that doc with you so that you can go download it and utilize everything I talked to you about today. If you have questions, feel free to throw it in the comment section, and in the next video I make, I will answer those questions for you. So thank you for hanging out, sitting with me. Again, let's build this community. Give me a follow on all of my social media within the video description, and subscribe to the channel so we can build a community and we can help each other get better and healthier and lift better and become the versions of us that we want to be.